neon white.
Hello, it's time for part 9. We've come a long way. With 10 more amethysts in this video, I will bring the total up to 90. It's not that big of a diverse selection, but with so few levels left, can you blame me? These are the levels that I've improved on that I've covered before. The most notable one is Climbing Gym, as I've hit the skip and saved over 20 seconds. There are two reasons why there aren't that many levels. One is that there isn't a lot of time to play these levels, and the other is that I don't know what levels to play. I want to get all amethysts before playing for sapphires, which is why I say that any sapphire medals I get now is an accident, and I'm running out of leeway for a lot of these levels. But again, that's for a later time, so let's get to these amethyst runs, starting with...
I just keep getting better and better.
Another Book of Life amethyst. The middle level difficulty theory still holds with this one. It was fairly easy, but not as easy as the other levels. Obviously, using insight aiming makes this extremely easy, but I opted out of using it because I didn't feel like installing an external program or using a controller or just learning a new piece of tech. I like the part before the Book of Life, although getting all of the bullet boosts from the barnacles can be tricky, as well as shooting the tripwire without jumping. The boofing section has some things that can trip you up, like the clip or switching between the Godspeed. I will probably learn the insight aiming route the next time I play this level, but that won't be for a while.
I just keep getting better and better.
This is probably my favorite Chapter 9 level. I'm really surprised how late it was that I got this one. The hardest part of this level involves shooting the various mimics while also getting bullet boosts wherever you can. The phantoms at the end of the level are a little weird, and it's disheartening when you hit a mimic when you weren't supposed to, but that part's mostly fine. There was a slight reroute where you save one of the purified bombs later to get more boosts, and I adapted quickly to it since it wasn't that huge of a difference. As a side note, I used this level for a Cursed Emeralds routes competition and got 4th place on it, which was really cool.
I just keep getting...
I tried playing this level because I hadn't played Chapter 7 levels in a bit and tried to get an amethyst from it. The beginning has some very quick snipes that can be annoying when you are trying to get boosts from them as well. The ending bomb makes no sense to me. I think you just need to throw it down as early as possible. I ended up tying the amethyst time to the exact millisecond the first time, which does give you the amethyst, thankfully. Overall, it's one of the worst and most frustrating levels for me because I don't understand anything that goes on in this level.
I just keep getting better and better.
Did you know that this used to be my favorite level in the game? Time and neglect has sadly gotten to it, and I only decided to do it then because I wanted to get a run with a recently new route, which I experimented with before deeming it too difficult. The alternative wasn't that much better though, and I stuck it out on a later date to learn it. The Purify Bomb at the beginning has to be thrown far, and you have to jump early, which makes boosting difficult. The Purify and Fireball combo looks a little weird, but is easily doable. The ending is deceptively difficult, as there is a lot of time to be saved in the last few seconds. With that, every chapter has either half or all of the Amethysts completed, which is not something that I was aiming for, but was cool nonetheless.
I just keep getting better and better.
This level used to be annoying for me, as there are a large amount of things that can go wrong. The jock is easy to miss when starting out, but gets consistent since it is at the start of the level. The angle off of the two rockets is impossible to judge, and clipping into the top geometry is somewhat common. The mimic bullets can hit other mimics if you're not careful enough, and if you use the zipline down, you need a lot of them to make it to the balloon. There's a seam that's uncommon to get stuck on, but it's both funny and annoying when it does. Aiming for the Guardian and Ringer is also very tricky when starting out, like with the Jock, but does get better over time. With the ending pattern I used, there's also the problem of timing out the second zipline since the barrels dismount you from the first one. I only decided to do this level because it was my last level in the 8th column that I hadn't gotten the Amethyst yet, so I did that.
I just keep getting better and better.
Similar to Firecracker, this was the last level in the 6th column that I hadn't Amethyst yet. This level comes down to Purify Boost, which I'm okay at. The most annoying part of the level was the sets of enemies at the back, because I constantly missed various sets of them and didn't know how to fix it in future runs. Other parts, like the 2 sets of enemies you need to shoot at and the Purify Stomp bullet boost, were also annoying, but not as much as that part. The ending is played very safe and differently from the usual route, but everything else makes up for that. My first Amethyst time failed to record, which I was very annoyed at, but I ended up getting a very good time to make up for that, which was nice.
I just keep getting better.
I tend to find that I like levels from chapters 6 and 7, but don't play them as often as other levels. This was a fine level, with a few annoyances. The waterfall boost was a little weird to figure out, but was mostly fine even if I didn't get it. There needs to be a late coyote jump to get a good above water boost, which I didn't figure out at first. The long jump was inconsistent at first, until I realized that you shouldn't coyote jump off of the waterway. Finally, the bullet boosts at the end are tricky and would dictate if you get the Amethyst or not. Being a pretty standard level, there isn't much else to say about it.
I just keep getting better and better.
This is the first odd level from chapter 7 that I've done, which is a little weird. I initially tried following a tutorial for this, but this was the one tutorial that didn't really help me. The beginning bullet boosts are where the main time save is, and I had to figure how to get them myself, which I kind of did, but not really. I could easily go much faster. The bullet boost after the barrel is necessary, but hard to hit because of the stomp effect. It is possible to turn it off, but I didn't because I'm stubborn. The other main time save comes from the ending, which has barrel timings that I don't really know how to do. For me, it's one of the levels that I forget exist, and only replayed it due to my first time barely getting the Amethyst.
I just keep getting better and better.
Continuing the Chapter 7 levels is this one. This was one of the first levels where I tried an aim lab strat, or in other words, sniping a large amount of targets quickly. Different strategies of hitting the targets have evolved, and the method I use is definitely my favorite so far. You can skip the platform at the start with some setting changes, but I didn't bother trying using it, and just opted for the soft landing you see at the start, which probably didn't save time, but I felt like it did. The barrel clip is a little weird to hit, but is fairly consistent if you know where to aim. Overall, it's a pretty fun, high-intensity level that I enjoyed playing, but I'm not keen on improving my time further.
I just keep getting better and better.
We end this part with the 6th Hanging Gardens medal in this video. There exists an emerald route that I wish could get Amethyst, but it's about a second too long. I ended up doing my own route, which mostly follows a previous world record route, but without the shocker dupe. The hardest part of this level used to be the far bomb, but it changed with this route, now being the shooting of the shockers and barnacles. The first time, I jumped after the shocker to give myself more time, but the second time I didn't, and hitting everything was extremely tight. Everything else about this level is fairly easy to pull off, which I was surprised about. And that does it for this video. Now, we are up to 90 Amethysts! It's crazy seeing how far I've gotten with Amethyst collecting. Part 10 is coming, and it's going to be a big one as we get to 100 Amethysts. I'll see you then, but for now, thank you for watching.